Josh Taylor's work at the 140-pound junior welterweight division may be incomplete. He has to make a decision. Will he give Jack Catterall a rematch, or will he just go ahead and move up? Let's talk about it. Ever since the final bell that ended their 12-round battle for the undisputed junior welterweight title, Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall names have been placed together in a fight that had a controversial decision outcome, where many thought that Catterall actually pulled this fight out. And you can't disagree with those sentiments. It was one of the fights that saw the champion, the undisputed Josh Taylor, struggle, fail to make adjustments, and overall encounter someone who was a little bit smarter, a little bit craftier than people may have thought going in. The performance of Jack Catterall in this championship battle was one to watch, admire, and also applaud. He came ready for the champion, looking as if he had really studied him, and presented difficult circumstances that Taylor, with his experience, should have been able to make an adjustment to, but just could not overcome. Now there is talk that Taylor may be interested in giving Catterall a rematch, but it won't be with the titles on the line and at a catch weight. Josh Taylor, who's now 19-0 with 13 KOs after this fight, has been inundated with questions, jeers from fans, and ridicule because many felt that he received a gift from basically the judges and boxing overall after their battle for his undisputed title. This was a fight that saw him struggle to deal with Catterall's style. He fought out of a crouch, seemingly like in the old days. Guys like Ezra Charles, bending over, using a semblance of a Philly shell, jabbing out of that, making Taylor walk into his punches. Both men fighting out of the southpaw position could have presented tremendous difficulties for one another, but Catterall was very crafty in what he brought on that night. Fighting Taylor at a catch weight would not serve much benefit to him because he was challenging for the world titles at 140. Josh was overlooking him and seeking to possibly move up to 147 after this defense. But it's unfinished business here now. So Catterall, who now is 26-1 with 13 KOs, is left to consider other options, such as possibly facing number 2 ranked Arnold Barboza Jr. for a vacated WBO title in the event that Taylor goes ahead and vacates those belts. To fight Taylor at a catchweight, again, serves no purpose because he will not be a champion. He will be giving certain benefits to Taylor, who won't be drained, because a catchweight would possibly be somewhere around 143.5 or so. But it's the discipline of the fighter. Taylor, if he wants to run this back, has to do it at 140. You have to make the sacrifice, make that weight, defend those titles again, and give this man an equal opportunity to show that he may be the better guy. Or Taylor just had a bad night. To ask him to come outside of that, where championship consideration isn't on the table for him, is absurd for where Catterall wants to go with his career. And Taylor now lackluster on the way up to 147, where some even had him possibly in their sights as a possible candidate for Terrence Crawford. He now looks no more than food, because the guys at 147 are a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger, a little bit more seasoned, overall a little bit better than those guys that are at 140, including Taylor himself. This could be a situation where Catterall, who dropped Taylor in this fight for the first time in Taylor's career, could really cement his place in the division. And as I said, he doesn't need to move up to 140 plus, because he's doing just fine. It's Taylor who had his sights set on other affairs and could not complete the task at hand. All the more reason to run it back and show real championship consideration and spirit. This has to be a fight with the belts on the line. They should not allow Taylor to escape from what his fate may ultimately be. Yes, he may have had trouble making the weight, but if they schedule an immediate rematch, he has plenty of time to train and keep himself nearer to the weight than to blow himself up, which he has done in between fights, like a number of these guys of today. I don't see giving him an opportunity to think about things for half a year and then to put Catterall on standby until he makes that decision. Catterall can fight again at 140. And if the belts are going to be vacated, he should just wait for that opportunity for one of those vacant titles. Because basically, many people feel he's the champion anyway, even though the judges got it wrong on that night. Think about it. Taylor vacates the titles, moves up, decides to try to challenge one of the class welterweights. Catterall remains at 140 and fights another contender for one of the vacant titles. It won't have the luster of being undisputed, which he was robbed of, but the opportunity still to fight in a back-to-back championship scenario, I think, would soften the blow. This is the state of boxing today, and it's not fun. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. And do you think that Catterall should just wait for that opportunity for a junior welterweight title shot? Or should he go in again to try to prove at a catchweight that he can best Josh Taylor? This is Stormy B-Man. That's all I have for you at this time. Please leave comments. Shout out to the LDBC and Liberated Perspective, the third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share.